guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Whistle with me, Matty K, and we're in another deep dive. Today we have an Arsenal fan on. I'm not really looking forward to this one. Please welcome Joe. How are we doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Now, we're going to let a little peek behind the curtain because you're not a quote-unquote content creator, are you?
No, not until this very day.
You're just this is your content creator, isn't it? It's great. It's great to have a fresh face in the content world.
Well, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's all good. My first question for you, all these questions today, there'll be nothing that's too challenging for you. You should, as an Arsenal fan, be able to answer all of them. But the very first one is just, how are you, mate? Are you okay? How's things at home?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, just very busy times at work, but trying to fill my weekends with lots of things to keep myself busy and getting out and about, trying to get outside a fair amount. It's very nice at the moment. Absolutely roasting in this room. But yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Busy, absolutely busy. Well, you know my life better than anyone. He's busy. But
did you enjoy the air show at the weekend?
Yes, I did, mate. Yeah, we're back in Hull for 2 days, and then we're off again. So yeah. Should we jump straight in? Right, I wanted to ask: did you enjoy the World Cup?
Yes, I did. Obviously, the end of it was not to every England fan's taste, but I got to see a lot of the games, a lot of really good games as well. I liked there being that many games on. Like, I know there's a lot been said about the FIFA and the number of teams being increased. It wasn't necessarily the right thing, but it was a lot of football. The stadiums were incredible, and for the most part, the fans were fantastic. So, and then that Mexico night, that Mexico game that we all could enjoy at like the small hours of the morning was and is going to be one of the best football memories ever. It was just incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think was we in the chat at that point at stupid o'clock in the morning?
We were. That was one of my favourite bits. Like everybody been up, and then everyone saying, football chat, and just saying like, yeah, I just had to celebrate silently, so I didn't, bring the house down, and we were all the same. I pulled a muscle celebrating because I pulled my fist pumps into celebrating rather than shouting and everything. But yeah, the chat was popping off, and it was fun to be a part of something, even though pretty much most people, apart from the few brave souls, or many brave souls out at pubs, all of us at home, like silly o'clock in the morning, enjoying that very stressful game that aged me 5 years at the very least.
Yeah, that's true. Should we jump into Arsenal, because obviously that's where your heart lies there, and I'm not looking forward to this one, but I think this will be a good podcast for you because you're probably loving life as an Arsenal fan, right? My first question, which is, I ask the same questions to everybody, so I think I might know the answer to this one though. Were you happy with the way your team played last season?
It was all right. Like, obviously, 22 years since we won the title. When we last won it in 2004, I was 9 years old. And if you told me that team that had just gone a season unbeaten would take 22 years to win the league again, well, you'd been run out of North London, run out of the country, probably, to be fair. So yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic, stressful, nerve-wracking, but all in all, a very special season. And being in London for the parade was easily one of the best experiences of my life. It was nuts.
Yeah, you see, I'm quite intrigued with this question. Like, are you happy with the way your team played? Like, obviously you won the league, which is brilliant for an Arsenal fan. But yeah, are you actually happy with the way you played? Because there was a lot of scrutiny over Arsenal, wasn't there, and the sort of way they went about it last season.
Well, there was tons of scrutiny. I mean, there's always scrutiny around Arsenal. I mean, I'm sure a lot of football fans feel that their club is always put under the microscope. I mean, especially Spurs in recent years with your spending and then your performances too. Not to rub that in, that's just a genuine point. But yeah, there's a lot been said about, 1-0 wins, getting goals from corners and everything. But for years, the criticism of Arsenal was that they couldn't get it over the line. They don't know how to play smart. They don't know how to play tough, really, and been able to dig out result after result and drag ourselves, if it was a drag, to the league title was something that we had to find a way of doing, and we did. So happy, no, because I wouldn't want us to win every game 3-0, and there are arguably better Arsenal sides in recent years where we'd score 3-4 goals in a game and we would be absolutely piling on the pressure on teams. But no, I'm happy with the way we played because we had that defensive resilience. We still had that quality as well to play stylishly at times, even though people will try and convince you otherwise. But yeah, like that grit and the defensive qualities is something that Arsenal's actually built on. 1-0 to the Arsenal is, my favourite chant, and also grounded in George Graham's Arsenal in the 90s, where we had that amazing back four with Tony Adams and the rest. So yeah, it's part of it. We've just gone back to our roots basically. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair, good answer. How do you think your team has performed in pre-season?
A bit mixed, because pre-season's a funny one, because it's pre-season just after a World Cup, so you've got players coming back in dribs and drabs. Started well, beat Verona 4-1. Zolis got off to a great start, and we'll talk more about him, I imagine. But we've had a few defeats since and a few criticisms of performances, but really, like, again, it must go with the feel-good factor and the dash of me not really been too worried about pre-season, because there's teams that perform great in pre-season and teams that don't, and it doesn't seem to have much bearing on what happens the rest of the year a lot of the time. So yeah, a few defeats and everything, which, you know, another year might be cause for concern, but we got the title over the line, so I'm less concerned now. So very good pre-season performances individually. Dowman's been fantastic. He's really, I don't know where he's going to go. He's 16 years old. It's nuts. He's only just finished his GCSEs. And someone else has popped up is Marley Salmon, who looks like a quality centre-back as well. So a few hints of excitement. A few other players, you know, could probably be doing better. But it's an okay pre-season. We'll see what comes of it when the season starts.
Yeah, well, I suppose you've got an extra look at how your team's going to perform, because you've got that Community Shield against Man City coming up, haven't you? But what type of fan are you in terms of pre-season? Because I know a lot of fans don't really tend to take it seriously. Some like to watch them because it gives a good indication. You get to see some youngsters. What about you?
Well, I think I don't pay too much attention, because often between seasons of stressing about football, pre-season's like a bit of a break. You get to, you know, the fans who don't normally get to go to the stadium get to go see the team, so that's always a big plus. But yeah, it's more just about the fitness and getting players back. I mean, especially in the World Cup year, it matters even less, because, as I say, those players are coming back in dribs and drabs, so it's not really a cohesive team. I mean, the Charity Shield is probably the best season opener, because it is a you know, somewhat serious game where you actually will see something similar to a starting lineup that you'll see in the league. So we've got that, and that's often more telling to me. And we've been in it a lot in recent years, so that's been my favourite part of pre-season. The rest of it, it's all fitness.
Yeah, well, I think you've kind of already highlighted and touched on it already, but are there any youth players that have stood out to you during pre-season? That might
Max. Everyone knows about Max Dowman now. Youngest Premier League goal scorer, and has an insane swagger about him for a 16-year-old. He's going to be a very special player if he's managed correctly and not sort of run into the ground like Saka was, because Saka was made to work in sort of the seasons we struggled in. And he's probably played more than he should have at a young age. So hopefully they do manage him well. But he looks incredible. And then, as I say, Marley Salmon, the centre-back, I think his first name's Marley. He's already seems really mature, and I think he's 16 as well. So we do seem to have a nice little conveyor belt of youngsters coming through at Arsenal, you know, starting with Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, and it just seems to be carrying on, which can only be a good thing. But yeah, apart from in terms of youth players, they're the two standouts so far.
Yeah. So my next question, I'm going to ask you it, but I've got something else to ask you in a minute. You'll make sense in a minute. But the next question is, who have you signed and who are you linked with? Now, I want your opinion on the Christian Romero links.
Oh, yeah, not a fan of that. And we're signing players that I'm not actually a fan of. Like Christian Romero, bit of a brute, gets a red card now and again. Spurs captain, so this isn't going too well. But we do have a track record of that with Sol Campbell, so that I respect. I mean, I've never rated him too highly. You might be able to tell me a bit more about him than I would, but I don't think he would have to come in at quite a low price and be willing to be a backup, because, yeah, that takes me to a few of the players we've been linked with. But yeah, so not crazy about that rumour in particular, unfortunately.
Very long. To be honest with you, at this point, I just want him out of the club. I think he's causing quite a... Yeah, he's good. Mate, I love him. I love what he's done for the club. And I think if he just had his head screwed on a little bit more, he'd be a Tottenham legend. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's got the mentality for it. But yeah, anyway, who have you signed and who are you linked with?
So signings, I don't have my encyclopedic knowledge of football transfers anymore, so I need to pull them up. I mean, I know about the big one, Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. He's another player who I wasn't exactly... Again, he was a player I was playing against. Fantastic player. Again, I can't believe Jorginho went and headbutted his elbow. I mean, that, you know, I said it all along, Jorginho should have been sent off. I never would have said that Bruno would ever do such a thing. So he's a controversial figure for Arsenal because we've had a bit of rivalry, I'll say somewhat rivalry with Newcastle in recent years. But he is a fantastic player. He's in all the top metrics in the Premier League for progressive passing, ball carrying, and instantly puts our midfield as the best midfield in the country, if not Europe, because he adds that extra level to a midfield that is already has a lot of depth and a lot of quality. So 75 million, it's a good deal for him at his age, I suppose. I mean, football transfer fees have gone a bit crazy these days anyway. But that being said, fantastic transfer. Christos Zolis from Club Brugge is looking already in pre-season like a really good buy. 40 million for a winger in a market that is quite poor, I would say, at the moment. But he's come up with some goals and assists already and looks like a good replacement for Trossard, who we're very sorry to see go. We've also signed Meslier from Leeds on a free, so I think he's going to be third choice, but tossed it up with Kepa maybe for second choice. Not too sure about that. I've never seen a keeper of sort of his level come in as a third choice, because I know he's had his criticisms at Leeds, but he's not like an aging goalkeeper who just fill a spot, or a young keeper just to, again, fill a spot. So it's interesting to see what happens there, especially with the criticism of Kepa last season too. Was there anybody else? Do you think Cappy's in on permanent, which I think was always going to be a thing? He was fantastic last season, but was only here on loan. So getting that done, again, a formality, but fantastic. Links, the big one we had was Vinicius Jr., which I don't know how strong they were, but it did seem like a real possibility at one stage, and probably would have been the biggest Premier League transfer ever. I mean, might be others. But that would have been an incredible signing, albeit on massive wages. So it was very impressive that the club was quite serious about it, because the rumours was substantial in the terms of it seemed that sources within the club were saying this is approved at all levels. So the fact that the club was united behind getting the financial plans in place, because you have to sort the finances out to get a player in of that quality and would command such a fee in wages alone. So that was disappointing to see go the other way, but they'll just have to let that one go. Other links, the main one to see them on is Ezri Konsa. Again, he would be coming in similar to sort of what Romero would be, which I guess why we're linking him to, as a third choice / replacing Saliba while he's out injured for the first several months of the season, by the sounds of it. But again, 60 million for a centre-back who is going to be back up when Saliba is back, and Gabriel and him are in the squad. So that's the main one I've seen at the moment. A few drips and drabs elsewhere, but yeah, nothing else concrete. I would like to see us with some more forwards, though, because it does seem a bit thin. And if we can move Jesus on as well, that would be a positive. But a few things have to move first, but good business so far, and hopefully we hear a few more rumours coming soon, because it's getting towards the end of August. Well, no, it's the 11th of August. It's not getting towards the end. But yeah, we want to see those come in.
Yeah, I tell you what, mate, you've absolutely smashed that. That was a fantastic roundup. Who are you expecting to leave this season, if anyone?
I'm expecting to leave. Again, I have to consult my list. So, yeah, as I mentioned, touched on already, Trossard, disappointed to see him go. He was a fantastic signing a few years ago. Very clutch player who came up with some very, very important goals. So sad to see him go, but for a somewhat decent fee for a 31-year-old to Turkey as well. Kivior gone, who again, decent servant for a little while. Christian Norgard, who didn't do too much last season, but it did sound like he was very important in the dressing room, going to Everton. So I think Everton have picked up a good player there. I hope he gets some more game time, because he does deserve it. I've always liked him as a player. Other players, again, that I would like to see go, probably Jesus was fantastic when he first came to us. Came up with some really important goals, was a very exciting player. Him and Zinchenko signing was really the starting point of our upturning fortunes, and us turning around and becoming challengers again, like that season when they first joined. We were playing some insane football, and they were massively responsible for that. But he's commanding huge wages now as Jesus, and it would be good to see him moved on, and maybe there's pivot towards another type of player up front, or at least just another option up front. Apart from that, seen today that rumours about Miles Lewis-Skelly going, which to Chelsea of all teams, which would be absolutely horrific. I've heard United as well. Oh, fantastic. It gets better. Yeah, I mean, he is an incredible player. In this market, we would have to be asking for a hell of a lot of money for that even to be a question, because his contract will still be decent, I imagine. And he walked into the team at the end of the season when he was sort of not really in and amongst it. And then he starts in the Champions League final, and he did not look a single bit out of place, although he didn't have the ball all that much. So yeah, that wouldn't be great to see him go. So I do hope those rumours die down. But if he was to go, it would have to be a large fee. And again, it's that pure profit again for a youth player, which would be good. But I don't think we're struggling for finances, to be honest, if we're going after Vinicius Junior. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't come true, that rumour.
Yeah, a little bit sort of back towards pre-season. Have you noticed any tactical changes with the manager? Now, I've heard roughly somewhere that you are trying to play a bit of a different style to last season. I think last season was very much kind of like a get the job done, right?
Yeah, I think we kind of fell into that because in terms of injuries and everything, and really just what the Premier League is these days. And I don't know if there was some sort of siege mentality at the club, especially at the sidetrack at the Emirates. The crowd really got on our backs a lot. The Emirates has been a good place for us in terms of a home stadium. The crowd have been really good, like especially in recent years, comparing it to like 10 or so years ago. They're much, much better. But anytime we hadn't scored in the first half or we went behind, the fans, it did really feel like there was an atmosphere coming over the stadium that infected the players. So I think that fed into the tactics and the way we might have played on the field. That being said, in pre-season, I think there's been a lot of high-scoring games. I think most of them have either been 3-2s or 4-1s, so they're quite open anyway. So it's quite hard to get a grasp of what the tactics are like. I think, tying to what I've been saying, that we will be a bit more relaxed this year. So maybe we will see a bit more football. The fans will be relaxed. There's a feel-good factor around the club again. Well, not again. I mean, there's a feel-good factor around the club now. We've got the league done. So maybe we'll see some more relaxed football and less 1-0 wins and more willing to just go for it, really. Charity Shield would be a good indicator of what the tactics are, because the teams have been very disjointed, I would say. It's hard to tell when you've got half of your team out.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some quick fire questions to wrap it up for you, mate. They are quick fire, but if you want to dive into a little bit of a story or you got anything extra you want to say, mate, it's your time, yeah?
Absolutely.
So, wait, the first one, which game are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm going to say 2 and cheat. North London Derby, obviously, because we're actually going to have one this year after it was touch and go for a while last time, after last season. So that'll be good, and especially with the signings you've made. I think if it clicks for you, your fortunes will be in a much better place this year. So I think that's going to be more of a game after we've handed out some drugging stew in recent times. So that's always one to look forward to anyway. But Hull City obviously been back been from Hull, not in supporting Arsenal. Hull been back in the Premier League, and coming to Arsenal was a game I went to back in 2008 when Hull first got promoted to the Premier League. In the Arsenal end, Hull City won. School on Monday morning was hell, as myself and a few Arsenal fans just had to hide for the day. So that'll be good to see. It's good to see Hull back at least, but hopefully we can just bat them away this time as opposed to losing 2-1 to a wonderful Giovanni strike.
Are you going to try and go to that game?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure when it is. Might be in January, the home game. One of the games is in January, I can't remember. But yeah, I'll definitely try and go to that.
Yeah, let me know. I might be able to sort out some tickets for you, mate.
Oh, well, there we go. Thank you.
Who do you think will be the top scorer for your team and for the league overall?
League, Haaland. I think if you ask that of any other people, they will also say Haaland. Man City will, despite losing Pep and Rodri and maybe a few others, they'll still be a force this year. So I think Haaland is going to be the focal point of that, and he will just score 25 plus goals again, no trouble. For Arsenal, availability, I will say it's going to be Gyökeres again. He had a touch and go first season, I would say, but only because of him getting used to the Premier League and maybe some of the media noise around him and the noise online around him. This isn't a quick fire round, I'm so sorry. And so I think it'll be him again, depending on injuries, because we had Havertz out a lot last year. So Gyökeres ended up playing a lot, but he was quality towards the back end of last season. So I think it will be him again.
Yeah, rate your transfer window out of 10.
I'm going to say 7. I don't know if I'm just being greedy because Bruno's a fantastic signing. Zolis is already looking really good. And we've managed to move on a couple of players for decent-ish fees for decent-ish players like Trossard and Kivior for like 18 million apiece. So I would say 7, but it has been good. I just want that extra signing. I think we need something. I'm not too sure where, but probably a centre-back to add that increased depth while Saliba's away, or injured, I should say, and maybe a different sort of attacker, because looking at the depth list, it does look a bit thin, especially if with our few injury-prone players like Havertz, potentially Saka, your favourite player, Madueke. So I do think we might need something else there too, but that might be just being greedy. So I'd give it a 7 so far.
Okay, we don't mention his name on this pod, by the way. Relegation predictions.
I think Hull are going to finish bottom, unfortunately. I think they were very fortunate to get promoted. The final was fine. They ground out a result against Borough, but they did get there in dubious circumstances with Southampton being rightfully cast out for trying to spy on other teams. So Hull will be bottom. I think then Ipswich, I don't expect too much from them, unfortunately. Look forward to hearing your Ipswich fans review their season. It'll be good to hear what they say. And then the final one, I think Forest, I think they will struggle. They've lost a couple of players, Anderson namely, and they struggled already last season. So I think they will finally go down. It's a very tumultuous club with that quite controversial owner. So it makes for, a club that could be in trouble.
Well, my next question was, out of them 3, who's going to go down first? But I think you said Hull, didn't you?
Yeah, 20. They'll go down in sort of probably early April, certainly the first one. They're not making... I heard they signed someone today, a decent player from America, I believe. Don't have any more information than that, just had a conversation about today. But they've not made many signings, and the signings they have made was Jack Butland replacing Ivo Panda, who was already a decent keeper, so that was a bit of an odd one. Financial, I know, but I just don't see them having enough to stay up, and definitely not enough to threaten any of the other places other than 20th. So sorry to say.
No. Look, I ain't going to get into it now, but yeah, they did sign Butland. That was purely financial, but they have brought in another goalkeeper, a Greek goalkeeper, who's supposed to be quite good. Yeah, but a different podcast for a different day.
Yes.
Who will be the surprise dark horse?
I think Leeds. I've thought about some of the other clubs, but we have our usual suspects who threaten Europe, like Bournemouth and Brentford. But with them actually being in Europe, maybe not Brentford actually, Sunderland are in Europe this year. So the dark horses of last year, Sunderland, those clubs who we might normally expect to see will have European football to contend with. And then Leeds, who I think are quite solid, made some decent signings. I think they could certainly head up to the top half of the table at the very least and maybe flirt with Europe. Solid club, great fans, great stadium, and they might have finally got it back together again. Yeah,
and it's never nice to talk about this, but first manager to be sacked.
Ooh, that's a good question.
See, I would have gone for, I've said it on every podcast, I would have gone for Eddie Howe, but I think that's gone now. So, but I think it's quite highly, he was under a lot of pressure.
He was. Obviously, there's a lot going on at that club, and I can't remember the name of him who he has replaced, but I think it might only get worse for Newcastle. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was straight out the door. And sorry, I can't even remember his name, the replacement. He came from Saudi Arabia, I believe. Do you know the name of him, the new Newcastle manager?
Do you know what? It's just escaped me. I'm trying to find is it like Matthias Jassi or something like that?
That sounds familiar. I think with the summer that they've had, and obviously with a lot going on behind the doors at the club as well, I think he could be the first to go, and it could only get worse for Newcastle because I don't know too much about the signings they've made, but at a glance, they're not players to replace Tonali, Bruno, Anthony Gordon either. So it may just get worse for them. So it may be the Newcastle manager who may go. But another shout would be, I would say, as I mentioned, Forest, Oliver Glasner, who I think is a quality manager, but that owner at Forest is very trigger happy. So if at the first sign of trouble, he may go also. I won't be surprised by that.
Yeah, that's another name we don't mention on this podcast either. I'm not a fan of him. Ever since the Gibbs White stuff, but yeah, there's just something not quite right about that man. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think Newcastle have been stripped this transfer window, and I don't think they've got the infrastructure like Brentford have or Bournemouth have to sort of recover from that. So yeah, no, it's a great shout, mate. That's just about it. Do you know what? For your first sort of bit of content, you've absolutely smashed it. Now I asked this question to everybody. Obviously, with you not being a content creator, you don't have to answer it, but if you do, where can people find you and what you do?
Oh, nowhere, I'm afraid. No content has been created over here. I can't even remember my own Instagram at.
Well, there we go. I did think that was going to be the answer, but it's one question that I ask every question to every person that comes on the pod. But mate, honestly, for your first bit of content, you've absolutely smashed it. That was some really good detail there. Hopefully, the listeners have got a more in-depth idea of what Arsenal's going on behind the scenes. I don't think it needs too much explaining because they've just won the league. So like you said, the pressure's off, right?
Yeah, exactly. And our transfer dealings have been big news over the summer, so it's no secret that we've been in for Bruno all window, and it's no secret that there's been the rumours with Vinicius Junior. So we're a known entity, but if there's anything you could add about our youth players or anything like that, so yeah, hopefully I've been able to give a bit of a preview to Arsenal season. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. Thanks for having me.
No, of course. Mate, I don't know if I did ask it on the quick fire questions. It's on there, but did I ask you who was going to win the Premier League this year?
You did not.
Do I need to? I think I might know your answer.
I'm a pessimist usually, but Arsenal have got every ability to win the league again. A lot of other clubs, big clubs, have got new managers, lots of new players. We've kept our structure, we've kept the same winning squad, and we've made improvements in areas where we didn't necessarily even need improvement. So there's no reason why we can't win the league again. Going to back would be incredible, but the pessimist in me, if it wasn't to be us, would be Manchester City.
And can you just say for me, Tottenham have a chance of winning the league this year?
Tottenham do not have a chance in hell of winning the league this year.
Well,
no, in all seriousness, everyone's got a chance, and you've signed some good players, so why not? If it makes you happy, Tottenham have a chance of winning the league.
And there is my Valor clip for you guys. That'll be all over TikTok soon. Joe, you've absolutely smashed it today. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in a couple of days, probably at some point anyway, while we're playing footy. But yeah, mate, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, do whatever it is you need to do on whatever platform you are watching on. And we're going to call it a day because I've just realised I'm losing the light. Joe, thank you, mate. I'll see you soon.
All right, cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Bye-bye.